First of all, thank you very much to all the students who are regularly liking and sharing the videos of my channel in their groups and making them reach to the maximum students possible. Secondly, thank you very much to everyone who is supporting this channel of mine, okay, and learning coding through this channel, named Gaurav Kumar Jain. Of course, you all very well know about it. So why are we here today? We are here to generate a real-time application. The name of this app is Number Fact Generator. Okay, so what we guys will be doing here, we will be fetching the fact related to the numbers which the user will be inputting from some other website. Okay, we will be fetching the required information from the server of some other website, and we will make use of this start web request block in order to fetch the required information. Okay, now I'm already done with the designing part. As you can see, this is the first screen the user is going to come across. Then there are two more screens we will be using. This is the second screen where the user can input the number, and automatically on this admin panel the number is going to get received, and here the fact related to the number inputted by the user will get generated, which will then be showed to the user on his respective panel in this get fun fact named message box. Okay, so let's dive into this app and start with defining the required code. So I'm going to start with this first screen. The name of this screen is sign in screen, and as you guys very well aware about this thing, that there are three main components which are present on this sign in screen. One is this email in component, second is this password in component, and then there is a button with ID submit. Okay, now I am going to define the code for this submit button. So for that I will place this on event block over here in this workspace. Let's replace this ID with the ID of this submit button. So it is submit. Everything is in small. When the user will hit this submit button, I would like the user to once before that he need to enter his email address over here and his password over here in this field. So a table should get created automatically on the data browser where his email ID and the password is going to get saved, and once he is done with creating his profile on this platform, he will be redirected on this beautiful screen. So for doing this, what we can do, we can make use of this create record block, with which we can create a table on the data browser connected to this app. So I am going to name the table as users, and I would like to have two columns in this users named table. One is the email, one is for the email part. Okay, and second one is for the password part. Now how can we get this get the value for this column? We can make use of getText property, right? And the ID of this component is email in. Fine. Similarly, if you want to get the value for this password named field, we can copy this whole thing and place it over here. Let's replace this email in with the ID of this component with the in which the user is going to enter the password. So it is password in. Let's do that quickly. Okay, and besides, we would like the user to get redirected on this beautiful screen. So for doing that, we can make use of this set screen block. Now the ID of this screen is screen 6. Fine. And what else do we have to do? Let's make it more interactive by adding a sound to this. So I'm going to make use of this play sound block, dropping it over here inside this on event block. Let's convert it into block based coding and select a relevant sound for this uneven block. So I'm going to come on this notifications group and let's select this third one. Yeah, this is nice. Fine, so I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so now the user is going to come on this screen 6. Let's now define the code for this button which we have got on the top of this screen 6. So once the user is done with creating his profile, he will come on this platform where he'll get to see two different buttons. Right on the top, one input box, then there is an image which is getting reflected over here. So this is how I have designed this whole screen 6. So it is an image button on which I have imported this image. Okay, so if you want to find this kind of image on Google Images, what you can do, you can type something like this. Let me help you with the words you can type here for finding that image. Girl with curly hair and facts. Curly hair and facts. Clip art. So I think this way, yeah. So these are a couple of good images you're going to come across. You can make use of whatever image you want to for your application for making it look more appealing. You can add this keyword also, GIF animated, if you want to have a GIF image on your for that screen 6. So this is also a very beautiful image you can make use of, right? Then there are some more images which you can easily find using these words in the search box of Google Images, right? Okay, so once you're done with that, you can easily import the image on this image button. Let me just pull it down. Yeah, now it is looking fine. Okay, so now how I have got these two image buttons. These two icons. So what I have done, I made use of this image button, placed it over here, and then I visited the icons library available to us over here in this Applab. So you can easily find couple of beautiful icons over here in this icons library that you can make use of for making this screen look more interactive and more appealing, right? Okay. Now there is one message box which you can see over here, and then there is a button. So I am going to start with defining the code for this image 8. For doing that, let's have an uneven block in this workspace, and let's replace the ID with the ID of that image button, which is image 8. Okay. So before hitting this image 8 button, the user is supposed to enter a number over here, the fact related to which you want to know. So once he is done with that, I would like a table to get created on the data browser in which the number which the user will enter is going to get saved. So for that we can make use of this create record block, and let's create a table with name numbers on the data browser, and in this numbers name table I'm going to have a column name numbers again. Okay, and from where can I get the value of this for this numbers named field? I can get it easily with the help of this getNumber property from this component, the ID of which is number. So let's write down number over here. Okay, so why I have used getNumber? Just because the user will enter a number over here. Okay, I want to read something in the form of number. That's the reason I've used getNumber in place of getText instead of getText. Now let's make it more interactive by adding a sound to this uneven block, and this time I am going to make use of this place speech block. Let's place it over here, and here I am going to write down you sent your number successfully to the admin. Fine, so this is what the user is going to hear. Fine, let's do one more thing. So once the user is done with entering a number over here, automatically I would like everything from this component to go disappear. So for that we can make use of this setText block, and let's uh, select this number named component and replace the ID which is getting reflected over here with the ID of this number named component, and let's pass a null value. Fine, so this is going to disappear everything which the user is going to enter over here. And if you want something like number to get reflected in place of that number the user is going to enter, so you can make use of this text number. Okay, so I'm done with defining the required code for this image 8 button. Now as soon as this event for this table will take place, I would like that number to be reflected on this screen 4 to the admin. The admin should be able to see that number in real time getting reflected over here in place of this label box. That's how I am going to define the code for this label box now. For doing that, what we can do, we can make use of this on record event. As you guys are very well aware about this thing, that if you want to make a real-time application, so the best way to fetch some data from one device in real time on some other devices is by making use of on record event. By making use of this on record event block, you can fetch the data in real time from one device to some other device, okay, or devices. Now this create type of event is taking place in this numbers named table. So I'm going to copy this from here and let's place it in place of this my table thing. And we are not going to make any kind of changes over here, just because the event type which is taking place is create only, right? So we need not to make any changes in this line of code, and let's eliminate everything whatever is there inside this if loop. I'm done with that. Okay, so whenever this type of event will take place in this table named numbers, I would like to read the records. Where is that read records block? This is the one, so I'm going to place it over here. I would like to read the records from the numbers named table. Okay, and let's eliminate everything whatever we have inside this for loop, and I would like the recently entered number to get reflected over here in place of this NO dot. So for doing that, what we can do, we can just make use of this setText property, or setNumber, sorry, not setText, setNumber, because it is a number which the user is going to enter, right? Where is that setNumber property? This is the one. So let's place it over here inside this for loop, and here we are going to replace this ID with the ID of this label box, that is label 7. How can we get the data from this numbers named column which is present inside this numbers named table? So we guys can make use of this records I dot numbers, right, where numbers is the name of the column, okay, and this records is a variable which is going to pick up the data. This variable which we have defined inside this function, it is going to it helps us in fetching the data from this table which we mention over here. Okay, so now this records named variable is going to fetch for us the data which is there in this numbers named column present in this numbers named table. Now if you want to fetch the recently recently entered number from this numbers named table, so for doing that you can cut this line of code and place it just after the point where this for loop is ending. Okay, and the only thing that you have to change now is I minus 1. Okay, you need to replace I with I minus 1, because this line of code actually pulls the information of the last row that gets created in a particular table. Okay, we have discussed it couple of times in the previous lectures also. If you don't know about this, please do check out the previous lectures I have posted on my channel. Okay, so now the number is going to get visible to the admin over here. Let's make it more interactive by adding a place speech block to it. So I'm going to place it over here, or shall we place it after this point where this read records is ending? I think here it is. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's place it just after the point where we have defined this set number block. So this is what the user is going to hear now. Here is the number entered by the user. Okay, this is what the user is going to hear from the background, right? Okay, now how the admin will find out the fact related to this number. So for that, we guys are going to make use of let's make use of this image 12 button. Okay, let's define an uneven block over here in this workspace and replace this ID with the ID of this image 12 button. Okay, now when the admin will hit this image 12 button, I would like the fun fact related to this number getting reflected over here. It should be visible to the admin over here in this fun fact named message area. Now how can we what is the code that we can make use of for generating the fun fact related to a particular number? That's what we are going to check out. So let me just tell you that there is a website with this name http. You guys can access this website numbers, then it is api.com. okay, let's set this enter button. So this is the website numbersapi.com from where you can fetch the relevant information. Okay, so this is the website. Now if suppose you want to find out the fact related to, suppose let's say number 1. So what you can do, you just have to place 1 after the site address. Okay, and when you will hit this enter button, this is what you are going to get. So 1 is the loneliest number. So this is the fun fact related to this number 1. Right, now if you will change this number, everything is going to remain the same. You just have to change the numbers. Let's change it to 45. So now you're going to get the fun fact related to this number 45. 45 is a sapphire wedding anniversary in years of marriage. Fine. If you want to find out the fun fact related to, let's say 2300, is it possible for us to do that? Yes, 2300 is an unremarkable number. So this is how you can get the fun facts related to the number, related to different numbers. Now how can we use this method? How can we fetch this information, or how can we connect this website to this app of ours in order to receive the relevant information, okay, from the server of this website? That's what we are going to see. So what I'm going to do, see, first of all, let's store this number which the user will enter in a variable. So I am making use of this line of code var number. Okay, and how can we get the number from this label box? So for doing that, we can make use of this getNumber property. Now the ID of this label box is label 7. So this is going to give us the number which the user has entered, right? Now what is the site address? The site address is this numbersapi.com. Let's copy this site address. I'm going to copy this whole site address by pressing Ctrl and C together. Let's come over here and define one more variable, and let's paste that site address which we just copied. Okay, so this is the site address http://numbersapi.com. Now the only thing that is going to change is this number. So we would like this number to come over here. How can we do that? So let's do one thing. Let's define it in between these two double inverted commas. Okay, now the compiler of this platform is going to read it in the form of text, and let's integrate the number which the user is going to enter and which we are saving in this number named variable with this site address. So that's how we can do it, right? Okay, now how can we get the fun fact? How can we fetch the fun fact related to this number over here in this fun fact named message area? So for that we are going to make use of this start web request block, which you can easily find in the data control data tab of toolbox, and I'm going to place it over here. Okay, so we can make a web request using this block. Okay, and we need to eliminate everything which is getting reflected in this URL part, and let's put this URL in place of whatever we just eliminated. Okay, and we don't want these two double inverted commas. Okay, so whatever the value of URL will be, it is going to come over here. Fine, and these are the three variables which we are using along with this function, which is by default attached to this start web request block. Okay, now the first thing that we have to check is the status. So if status is equal to 200, okay, I would like to set the text of this message box, that is fun fact, equal to the content, okay, related to the number which the user has entered and the content, which this start web request is going to fetch for us from the server of this website. Fine, now why I have written this status equal to 100, let me show you that thing. So if you will type status equal to 200 in this search box of Google, so this is the information you are going to come across. Just a second. Okay, so this is mostly used for mirrors or backups of another resource. Except for that specific case, the 200 OK response is preferred to this status. Okay, there is no content to send for this request, but the readers may be useful. So why we guys make use of this 200 thing for the status part, just to make sure that this block has successfully connected our app to the specific website. Fine, and we will be able to fetch, or you can say the server of this website has given us the permission to fetch the relevant information from it. Okay, so that's the reason we make use of this status equal to 200. So first of all, we need to check the status of this website, or you can say the server of this website, and after that we can set the fact or text okay, of this fun fact equal to the content which this start web request is going to pull for us from the server of this website for this number which the user is going to enter. Fine. Okay, now we will be able to see the fact related to this number over here in this fun fact message box. How can we now show this fact related to this number to the user on his screen? So what the admin can do, he can hit this image 11 button. Let's make use of this on even block and define the code for this image 11 button. Let's replace it with image 11 first. So when the admin will hit this image 11 button, I would like a table to get created on the data browser, in which let's rename the table to fact. And there are two things which I would like to get stored in this table. One is the number, okay, and the second thing is the fact related to the number. So from where can we get the value of this field name numbers? We can get it using this getNumber property from this component, the ID of which is label 7. So let's do that quickly. Okay, and here we can make use of getText property for getting the text which is going to come over here. The ID of this component is funfact. Let me just check the font size also of this message box. Okay, it is 13. Let me increase it to 16. Yeah, now it is fine. And let's come back on this coding panel. Fine. And besides that, as soon as the user will hit, admin will hit this image 11 button, I would like everything to go disappear from this fun fact named message area. Okay, here you will get to see the fact related to the number. Here you'll get to see the fact. Let it be like this. Fine. Okay, so now let's come back over here, and what else would be good for this app? Let's make it more interactive by adding some sound to this uneven block. I'm going to select a relevant sound again from the sounds library of this Applab. Let's come over here in this bells named group. This seems to be good. Okay, now the admin is now done with creating a table in which the number as well as the fact related to that number is going to get saved. Now how can we get that fact visible to the user here in this message box? So for doing that, we can make use of this on record even block, because we would like to fetch the relevant information on this message on this users panel in real time related to this number, right? So let's change the table name to fact, and because this is the event which is going to take place, right? Create record we have defined over here for this fact name table, and create is what is written over here as an event type in this if loop. So we need not to make any changes over here, because we would like to fetch the records from this fact name table. So we need to make use of this read records block. Let's place it inside this if loop. Now I am going to replace this my table with fact and eliminate everything whatever we have in this for loop. Now we want to fetch the fact related to the number which the user will enter over here, right? So for doing that, what we can do, either we can define a condition over here to put a check on this number, or else we can make use of if loop and put a check on this component. So for now I am going to make use of if loop. So get number, if this number, now the ID of this component is number, right? So if this number is equal to records I dot, what is the name of the column in which the facts are going to get saved? So sorry, numbers are going to get saved in this fact name table. It is numbers, right? So if it is equal to any of the numbers present in this numbers named column, I would like to fetch the fact related to this number and get the same reflected inside this message box named get fun fact. So we can make use of this where is that set text property. Okay, this is the one, so I'm going to place it over here. The ID of this message box is get fun fact, so I'm going to copy this from the design panel, and let's replace this ID with the ID of this message box. And now I am going to make use of this code. Let's place it over here. And where are the facts getting saved? They are getting saved in this fact named column, right? So we need to replace this numbers with fact. Okay, done with defining the whole code. Fine. Now the only thing that we are left with is the code that we need to define for this get the fact button, right? So let's do it quickly. I'm going to place this uneven block over here, and let's replace the ID with the ID of this button, which is get. Now when the user will hit this get named button, I would like to do this thing. So I would like to fetch the fun fact related to this number which the user will enter over here. Why am I getting an error? I think it's because of these two things. Yeah, now it is perfectly fine. Okay, and let's make it more interactive by adding a play speech block to this if loop. Let's have it just after the point where the fact is going to get pulled up. Okay, so here is the fact related to the number, and from where can we get the number? We can get it very easily from this get number code. So this is what now the user is going to hear. Fine. Okay, let's place a concatenation operator in between these two things. Okay, so we are done with defining the whole code for this app. Now I am going to check it whether this code which we have defined over here in this workspace is going to give us the desired output or not. So let's set the share button and copy the link of this app. So I'm going to run it on two different browsers. Okay, and as you can see right now there is no table present on the data browser which is connected to this app. Okay, so you have to assume as if it is a first device, and then let me just check the default screen also. What is the default screen at present? I need this one to be the default screen. Okay, this is already a default screen because we are not able to see that default make default button getting reflected in this workspace for this screen. That's what it means. Okay, I'm done with pasting the link over here. Okay, so this is going to be the first device for us, and this is going to be the second device on which we will be accessing the admins panel, and on this one we will be accessing the users panel, and it is a multi-device application. Okay, if you want you can access the users panel on more than 200 700 devices, and the admin will be liable to generate and give the fun fact related to all the numbers which the users are going to enter. Fine, here I am going to enter an email address first. Okay, I think we haven't defined the code for this button, right? We forgot to define the code proper. Okay, we haven't defined it properly, the code for this button. I don't want to do this thing. Instead of that, I would like, if it is an admin person, so I would like him to enter admin in these two fields, and after that when he will hit this submit button, he should get redirected on that admin panel. And if it is a user, he can enter user in these two fields, and automatically he's going to get redirected on that user panel. That's how I want to code this app, this screen one. So let's do that quickly. Get text. The ID of this component is email in. Now if it is an admin, he need to enter admin like this in this field, and besides he need to enter admin in the password field also. what is the ID of this component? It is password in. Okay, and let's set the screen for this if loop. So I would like him to get redirected on this screen 4, which is the admin screen, and here he is going to hear something from the background. What I would like him to hear, that's what I'm going to place inside this play speech block. Hi admin, hi admin, welcome to the admin panel. This is what the admin is going to hear. Okay, and if it is a simple user, so for that what we can do, we can, okay, so I'm eliminating these two brackets over here, and if it is a user, you need to write down user in these two fields, and automatically he's going to get redirected on this beautiful screen 6. So where he is going to hear, hi user, welcome to the user panel. Fine, and play sound. Fine, everything is working perfectly fine. Let's hit the share button. I'm going to run this app now for you on 2 different browsers. Let's see whether this app is going to give us the correct output or not. I'm refreshing these browsers. Okay, so on this first device, I'm going to access the users panel using by inputting user in both email and password component. I can easily access the user panel, right?
Hi user.
And here I'm
Welcome
going
to the user
access
panel.
the admin panel.
Hi admin. Welcome to the admin
Okay,
panel.
so this is the users panel and this is the admins panel. Let's enter a number over here in this component. So I would like to get the fun fact related to this number 34. So in order to send it to the admin, we need to hit this send button.
You sent your number successfully to the
As you can
user.
see, in real time,
Here is the number entered by the
on this
user.
admin panel, we are able to see this number entered by this admin, this user. Right, now how can we get the fun fact related to this number? We just have to hit this button and automatically the fun fact is going to come over here. Okay, so this is the fun fact related to this number 34. Let's send it to this user. So for doing that, we need to hit this button over here. Okay, there is one thing that I have missed. The number is not getting reflected over here. I need the number should be there getting reflected over here, because in that case, if the number will not be here, the user will not be able to get the fun fact in real time. So what we can do, we can eliminate that line of code which is actually this making the whole thing which the user has entered over here disappearing from this component. What is the ID of this component? It is image8. So where is the code we have defined for that image8 button? This is the one. Let's eliminate this line of code. Okay, now I am going to delete the data table which is here present on the data browser. Let's hit the share button and run this app one more time on these two browsers so as to check whether it is going to give us the correct output or not. Do like and share this lecture in your group so that more and more students can come and join the channel and learn to code free of cost. Okay, so here in this email part, I'm going to enter user.
Hi user. Welcome to the user panel.
This is users panel. Let's access admins panel on the second device.
Hi admin. Welcome to the admin panel.
Okay, so this is admins panel. Let's enter a number over here. 34 I'm entering.
You sent your number successfully to the admin.
Okay.
Here is the number entered by the user.
So as you can see,
here is the number entered by the user.
This 34 is getting reflected on this admins panel. And let's now get the fun fact related to this number. So we can hit this image button over here. So this is a fun fact related to this number 34. Now for sending it to this users panel, we just have to hit this button. Great. So this
Here is
app
the
is
fact
working
related to the
perfectly
number
fine, and in real
34.
time this user is able to receive the fun fact related to the number he just entered in this component, right? Now let's enter some other number. How about 56? Let's hit this send button.
You send your number successfully to the admin. Here is the number entered by the user. Here is the number entered
As
by
you
the
can see
user.
that the number has now changed from 34 to 56, and if the admin will hit this button over here, so it is going to fetch for him the fun fact related to this number 56. Let's send this fun fact to this user.
Here is the fact
Great, so
related to
it
the
is
number
working
56.
perfectly fine, right? Now if suppose this user want to again get that fun fact related to the number 34, if he want to read the fun fact related to 34 one more time, so he just have to write down 34 like this, and when he will hit this get the fact button, let's see whether he will be able to see the fun fact related to this number getting reflected in this message box or not.
Here is the fact related to the number
So he
34.
is able to pull the fun fact related to this number from the table named fact over here in this message box. So the app is working perfectly fine, and these are the two tables which are going to get created on the data browser connected to this app. Fine, so this is it from my side. In case you have any issue, in case you have not understood anything, then you are most welcome to ask me the same. Thank you very much, Shubhangi, for this appreciation, dear. It, it is really motivating. Thank you so very much. Hi, Hackspot Coding, Gaming, sorry. Hi, Sandeep. Sir, my code is not working. Just check out the lecture one more time. I think you must have made some mistakes somewhere in the read records part, or somewhere in that create records part. Maybe because of that you're not able to get the correct output. Just check out the lecture one more time. You will be able to resolve it on your own. Thank you very much, Akriti, for appreciating my efforts, dear. And I would like you guys to share these lectures with the other students, so that they can also come and enjoy these coding classes. Fine. And in case you want to avail the rupees 500 coding classes, in which right now we are learning Python, and we will be learning couple of many other high level programming things, then you are most welcome to contact me on my respective phone number, which is 9891665634. You guys are very well aware about it. In case you come across any issue while coding this app, you are most welcome to contact me. You guys can reach me through the comment section. Just put your query, whatever issue you have, in the comment section, and I will try to reply to all those queries as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Akriti, for sharing the link, and thank you very much all of you for joining me in this lecture. Have a great day. Bye bye.